program.
Let's transition from life lessons to school lessons and the importance of reading. You've heard the saying, kids learn to read up to the 2nd grade, and then they must read to learn from 3rd grade on. One national study shows that 96% of kids reading at grade level in the 3rd grade will graduate from high school. Reading, however, isn't easy for all students, but there's a cuddly program at our public libraries that can help. Yes, I said cuddly, and our Tanisha Johnson tells us all about it.
Suited up and ready to go, 7-year-old Rosie has a full day ahead of her here at the Charlotte Mecklenburg Independence Library.
Okay, what you got today?
Her schedule is full of students who want to read to her.
On the way home.
Rosie is a therapy dog and a part of the Pause to Read program. She helps kids learn to read out loud.
Are red and some are blue.
For a dog, it's not the most physically active job, but for so many kids, reading to Rosie seems to help so much. She puts them at ease and makes them comfortable.
Sharing is cool.
Very good job. And by reading to her, they learn so much. But because of Rosie, it doesn't feel like learning at all. It feels like hanging out with their favorite pet.
They do give that unconditional love and that support for these kids that have maybe some difficulties reading out loud, and some that don't have difficulties reading out loud. They just enjoy doing it.
When kids walk into a library and they see all of these books, or maybe when they're in the classroom and they get called on to read aloud, it can seem downright intimidating. But, you know, if they pull a book off the shelf to read to dogs like Rosie, it takes the edge off and then assures them that, yes, they can read well and do it while having fun, too.
Follow me over, follow me under.
For kids that do struggle, reading to a dog like Rosie can help make the difference between getting ahead or falling further behind.
We just, in fact, last fall had a woman that came in and was ecstatic because her child from the beginning of the year till December had grown 4 reading levels, and her teacher was thrilled.
Pete adds hot dogs.
Educators know reading like this in a non-judgmental and loving environment also builds self-esteem and confidence in a child. 8-year-old David Rodriguez used to shy away from reading at school. He says it wasn't fun.
I didn't really know how to pronounce words very well.
But when he met Rosie and he practiced reading to her, well, reading out loud for David changed.
I got more excited because there was a dog reading with me.
And guess what? Now at school, David is far from shy.
I feel like sometimes reading by myself and sometimes volunteering to read a book to the class.
That's right, you heard him. He can read to an entire class.
How many fingers do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
As for his brother Aaron, reading to Rosie with a little help is teaching him to take his time, and he's learned some other ways to help himself in reading.
Put my finger over the other words and we can see what the other words make.
David and Aaron's mom Maria says she can see the progress.
Ha sido mucho el cambio, han aprendido mucho. Están leyendo mejor.
And now she says they have become her teachers by reading to her.
The program really does help to bridge that, that bilingual language between the, what they're getting at school and what they're getting at home.
And it's not just the students giving extra time and effort into their reading. Rosie received special training to do this, to be a reading companion for students.
Rosie went through about 3 levels of obedience training just to learn basic skills. She did a K9 Good Citizen test, passed that. She did a 6-week therapy dog workshop, which got her used to being around children and hospital equipment.
Who knew that dogs could help children with reading?
The egg and the milk.
As educators and volunteers work to find new and innovative ways to help with literacy, Pause to Read seems to be such a natural fit at a library. And as we have learned from Dr. Seuss, the more you read, the more things you know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Thanks to Rosie, these students will go farther in reading than they could have gone alone. For Carolina Impact, I'm Tanisha Johnson reporting.
Thanks so much, Tanisha. I just wanted to cuddle up with that little pup. Pause to Read is a year-round program. You can sign up for 20-minute slots. Check with your local library to see when. Well, we always enjoy introducing you to someone in the business